Unfortunately, I'm still not feeling 100%. Still just drained and a little bit queasy off and on, but this camp is the best I could have asked for. Completely secure, only periodic loud trains. This is just damn frustrating. I've had 3 full days of whatever this is. I keep falling back asleep and had to take some Imodium, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. On the plus side, I have the option of just holding here. I have more than enough food and all that. 1 o'clock. I can't justify lying there anymore. Technically, I could zero here, but when I woke up, I thought I was getting going. I drank 2 cups of coffee. I can't sleep. I'm feeling pretty awful, though. I'm basically not seeing any better option other than just limping forward, seeing what I can make, but this is highly frustrating. Last thing I want to do is have Brian or somebody go out of their way to pull me off trail again. I only have about 30 or so miles left of this thing till I'm on the roads and everything. Oh, I wish Jen was here to see all the turtles, though. This is not getting any better. Admittedly, I tend to be kind of stubborn, especially when it comes to my own physical failings. But after hours of just crawling along and having to rest constantly, I had to admit that I needed to do something. I was basically kicking myself for having walked past Hancock in that cheap hotel, but in the end, I could only do what I could do, and the best option was to try and get a hold of Brian and see if he was willing to come back and get me. Now, that was a little easier said than done, considering I barely had 1 bar of cell reception, but after using my inReach and getting a hold of Jen and doing some relays, I had a ride back into town. Brian came, picked me up around 6 o'clock, took me to an urgent care where I basically laid out what I'd been going through and asked what they thought. After a couple of tests came back negative, there was nothing to do but go back to Brian's, crawl into his trailer, and basically lie there in misery. So it's now Monday. I have been in this ye old chateau for a couple of days. Unfortunately, I'm still not feeling real great. So I have been managing to get food down, mild stuff, but that seems to help with the nausea a little bit, but I have to make myself eat, which is not normal for this stage of a trip like this. Normally I would be super hungry and just eating everything around. Even worse, and here's a scary thing, I am having to force any amount of coffee down. I'm sipping and drinking a little just because I don't want to get headaches, going cold turkey, but yeah, this sucks. I wake up and I just feel so tired. All I want to do is curl up and go back to sleep. So I've been spending a lot of time in bed, hopefully going to get an update from the doctor today. I ended up getting a blood test in the urgent care yesterday, day before yesterday. Test for diabetes and urine test all didn't show anything, so we'll see. See, Jen, you're missing all the fluffy puppies. And welcome back to the amazing adventures of Matt walking through random people's neighborhoods, trying to figure out if he's in good enough shape to go back on trail. So tomorrow is 1 week since whatever this is hit, and I am very fortunate that this happened when I was in range of these great folks who have been super nice coming and getting me and letting me stay here. I seem to have gotten better middle of the day. I was able to go out for a walk. If that continues tomorrow, I am out of here and I'm going. If I can make 10 miles a day, I'll be happy. Because yeah, I've been sitting around too much. Okay, so I'm thinking it may be worth heading out and trying at least. And of course, after days of sunshine, this is the day when the weather's going crazy. So the plus side of me being pulled off trail for multiple days is there's a challenging forecast today as far as some heavy rain and lightning and things like that, and I don't care. I will hike through anything. Just get me on the trail and get me moving. And far, far too many days later, I am back. So yes, there is a time jump. It is now I think a week since I came down with whatever hit. I think April 10th was the first of the bad days. And I'm still feeling a little queasy. Nothing makes sense. I mean, anytime you post that you have any sort of a health-related issue on the internet, people come out of the woodwork and you get told everything from, it's diabetes to it's COVID to, I came off trail on the 10th, took a 0 on the 11th, tried to go back on the 12th, made an 18-mile day, everything was good. The 13th, I was back to really rough shape, crawled for 10 miles to get here. Brian came and got me again, and I had been living out of his trailer for the last 4 days or whatever it is. I went to the urgent care, talked to the doctor, got every test they could reasonably do. I'm still waiting on the liver and kidney function, but all the others came back as negative. And I joke about my trail name, but I have been doing a lot of stuff in a lot of different conditions for, a decade and a half at this point. And I've had Giardia, I have had Noro, I've had all those things. And this was a weird one. I didn't have diarrhea, I never vomited, I've been very nauseous. I'd never had a fever. It doesn't fit with anything. The urgent care tests were basically, nothing makes sense, so let's just see if there are any hits. Good news, I don't have leukemia and a couple other things, but it just makes no sense. The doctors were stumped. So at this point, I'm kind of assuming it was some GI thing in general. All I can do is point at the water, but I've also had a lot of kind of cross-contamination from going in and out of the portable toilets. I use hand sanitizer, but, that doesn't stop Noro. Those are heavily used common surfaces. I have been saying for days that I don't even care about getting the answer. All I really want is it to pass so I can get back out here. Yesterday, I was hoping to go back out in the morning. I wasn't feeling well. Texted Brian in the morning when he let me know that coffee was ready. They have been so nice to me. And I was feeling horrible, got some food, and then middle of the afternoon, I suddenly was feeling energized, grabbed my pack, went for a walk, did a couple of miles, felt great. Decided, okay, well, I'll rest until the following morning. If I wake up and I'm doing okay, then I'm going to go back out. And I woke up this morning feeling nauseous. I have not wanted to eat for a week now. I've been having to force myself. I've eaten a lot of Chinese food because it was hearty, salty, and I could get it down and force hydrate. So I am not feeling great. I am feeling queasy, but I'm able to walk. And if I can be out here and make 10 miles and not just be in complete misery every step, I would rather be out here and on the move. I always get advised by people off trail of, take your time, rest up fully. At least for me, I'm never at 100%. If you're waiting to be 100%, that's like waiting to hike the AT without rain. It ain't gonna happen. My schedule is obviously off the rails at this point. I was basically going really good, super happy with those 2 weeks, and now I'm at mile 300-ish, 293 I think, instead of wanting to be at like 410 or something. But I don't care. This is why I minimize my time off the trail when it's just, I don't feel like hiking today, or it would be nice to sleep for a day or two, because then I have time when I need it, and you don't have control over the catastrophic stuff. See the CDT COVID delay or all those other things. I literally just caught sight of one of the other ADT hikers that I passed back in Delaware, early Maryland. He was way behind, but I've now been lazing around for like a week. There are storms in the area. We were watching thunder and lightning over coffee this morning. So I fully expect to get wet today, but I don't care. I am being very realistic / pessimistic with my goal for the next day or two. I'm carrying about 4 liters of water. If it's cool like this, I can make 2-ish days, particularly if I'm not really eating my dinners or anything. And the CNO, I'm at like 135 on the CNO at another 30 miles or so. That's done at Old Town. I've got some options I can maybe get water at, like Pawpaw, Old Town, etc. And since my best guess is this was water-based, that's kind of what I'm defaulting to. I haven't filtered or done pump water since I came back out after that first zero. And while this is a bummer, there were far worse places to be stuck. See Winter Park the other year. I owe Brian and Janine so much for this. Super amazing, came and got me. They came and visited us. And then Brian came and got me twice, and they gave me a place to stay and fed me. And reiterated again and again how I was welcome to stay as long as I needed. I tend to be more the sort where I like doing favors for people versus taking advantage of favors, but I am very, very grateful that they were there and so kind. Plus, I got to play with the cats and the kid and send pictures of cute puppies to Jen, which made her very happy because she really loves their Finnish Laphounds. So for the moment, the nausea, the weakness, that is still here, but I'm at least able to walk. Like I said, I went for a walk yesterday and I was able to manage. I'm not having to stop every couple hundred feet. That up there is that bike path I was on. Runs parallel through this section. As you can probably tell, this is a little more of a remote area of the CNO. It's not just houses and such on either side. Cell reception has been basically one bar of LTE through here. And this is a good example of why I really like the inReach. I mean, it's great as a catastrophic, somebody broke a leg, hit the button, especially if you're solo. But I had one bar, I was able to text Brian and say, hey, I'm having this issue. If I need to, can you come and get me? Is this accessible to roads anywhere up ahead, etc.? And then that one bar went away. Could not get an SMS or iMessage message out, no matter what. So just popped out the inReach, sent a text message to Jen, said, this is what's going on. Can you correspond with Brian? And she did. Now, if you're wondering why I looped Jen in, Brian knows what he's doing. He canoe camps and backpacks and things, but often people aren't aware of just how expensive satellite text messages are. I get 10 free of them a month on the basic inReach plan, which is usually plenty, but me sending a message and getting one back counts as 2. And you have a character limit. So I work to, type like a teenage girl and shorten everything I can and still have it be readable. Just barely get under the character limit. And then now everybody is trained to thumbs up text messages as an acknowledgement. And if you do that over SMS, it says, this person has thumbs up, and it quotes the entire message, which all of a sudden will eat at least 2 messages. So often, even when I'm asking my parents to do something like send a box, I will have Jen be the interface because she's been, she has over 1,000 miles on all the big Triple Crown trails, never mind the Mississippi and other stuff. And she knows what this is about, what I need, and the answer to most questions that I would give. So she can kind of act as an interface and at least ensure people that they're headed in the right direction. The trees have noticeably been greening up every day out here, which is good because when I inevitably need to stealth camp, when it's just bare branches, my tent is visible from much further off. I have heard mixed messages as far as, oh, careful just camping wherever the rangers out here will ticket you. Others I know have just been camping out anywhere, generally with the sort of thing that I'm doing where I set up late, I leave early, I'm not being obnoxiously loud, I'm not dumping trash, I'm not doing drugs and screaming obscenities half the night. Even if somebody does talk to me, it's usually not an issue, but it's still better not to be visible and just save yourself the issue no matter what. See my not so proud night camping behind the Shark Valley sign a little ways into the Key West to Canada hike. I would really be feeling encouraged with how well I'm doing and feeling right now. If it wasn't just for that weird return to trail when I went through Hancock. Did 18 miles, I was not pushing it, I was not exhausted, just kind of meandering along, and then had it come back with a vengeance. I have had multiple offers for slack packing through this section. Brian explicitly offered to just, drop me off with a day pack, let me get some miles, and then bring me back. But I have no problem with people doing what they want out here, but once you're not carrying your stuff, at least to me, that turns it from a through hike into a day hike. I have made so many sacrifices and overhauled my life to be able to through hike, and to me that means carrying all my gear and that kind of independent forward motion, that it's just not worth it to me. If I can only go forward while slack packing, then I'm not in shape to go forward, and it's not worth banging on that easy mode button. Just detracts from the adventure for me. It is a super popular thing though. Like, I knew what it was before I came out and did the AT, but I didn't realize just how prevalent it was, where you could buy multi-day packages from hostels, and in certain cases they were effectively fear-mongering to try and encourage people to do that and get like slack packed southbound over XYZ hill because, it's harder to go down that side. But hey, that's just CAT. That's why part of the reason why I consider it the easiest of the Triple Crown trails. It is the through hiking-ish playground. Nothing goes wrong because you can always get out if you need. And because I know somebody will jump on me in the comments, yes, I know people have been killed on the AT, yada yada. People get killed in civilization and in their damn living rooms all the time. Sometimes it's just the universe is taking you out no matter what. Sometimes it is people making a series of really, really bad decisions. I mean, I remember stopping at a hostel because I needed to resupply, etc. Camped in the yard, lady came in. She had been lost for half a day. She was in a panic, she was crying. She was lost on the AT, which, if you have not seen a blaze in the last minute, you're off trail. Reverse your steps until you get there. She ended up going down somebody's driveway and a bunch of other things. There are a very wide variety of people, personalities, and skill sets that through hike. And here comes the rain again. Though it's gotten warm enough now where, honestly, drizzly, cloudy day like this is kind of preferable to full blaze sun, especially since that'll let me stretch my water a little further. Turtles for taters. So far, so good. North of 10 miles down. Oh, Ben would be so happy. Hey there, buddy. If only taters were here. Did something unforgivable. Missed this little guy. Taters does really, really love these guys. Especially the little ones. Those Fs are one of Jen's favorite memories from doing the AT. She loves the shirt that has them. You show her a picture of them, she gets super happy. So I'd been hoping to see some. That was a tiny one. She would have absolutely just adored him. So 5:40, and other than getting a little buggy a couple of times, today's been going pretty good. My knees need to warm up a little more, but that's what happens when you take an enforced 4 days in bed. I'm a little bit past mile 153. I should be about a mile from where the Towpath tunnel starts. It looks like there are campgrounds on either side of it. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do today. I'm not in a super hurry to stop. I also kind of want to stop before Towpath, so I have the option to go in and get town water in the morning, since I'm a little wary of drinking either from the pumps or the river here. I also have some beta from a trail area up on the far side of the tunnel, where somebody noted that dispersed camping options probably exist. So just gonna play it by ear, but probably go through the tunnel tonight. So I ran into the rescue dog guys again. They're going up to Cumberland, but somebody gave them a goat. Apparently they were in Hancock for 2 days. Somebody came up and gave them a goat, so they now have 4 dogs and 1 goat. And I love goats. I lived on this property for a couple of years. This is prior to the thru hiking thing. And the owners were breeding pygmy goats. So they were all over the place, super cute. They were always headbutting each other. Could feed them crackers through the back fence. Oh, I love that place. Other than the traffic noise, and the owners were kind of crazy and not the nicest people. I kind of prefer to stay at a campsite like this. Since it's bigger, you don't have to worry about somebody camping right on top of you, theoretically. Especially since I wouldn't grab a fire pit. So there's an app called the CNO Explorer, and in addition to being kind of far out, it has descriptions of what's going on out here. The fractional locks are because there was a contract and they were supposed to build like X number of locks, but they ran out of money, so they did one less, and they named them fractionally to be able to fulfill the nature of the contract. It has been really cool having access to that. One of the things I've commented on some of the trails I've been on is just the lack of context. You get spoiled when you do one of the far outs that has been really, really developed, and they had a whole bunch of, local history and explanations of what this is, what you're seeing off in the distance, stuff like that. So that stealth camping option is up on the hill trail. I'm going through the tunnel, obviously, after hearing about it for so long. The dog rescue guys said there were all sorts of people around the tunnel. If I get really lucky, maybe I can beg some water. I got enough to make it through the night, but not any extra. If I hadn't just been burned so badly by something which may have been water related, this is not usually the sort of thing I would worry about filling up off of. But you never know, there could be a mine up there. I'm down in the flatlands, not in the mountains, so bigger chance of chemicals in the water. Looks like they stabilized the hillside all through here. Okay, now. Jen would be so approving of today. Okay, maybe all the tourists went home for the day. I'm getting the impression that maybe I'm not going to be able to beg any water off anybody. Well, that was cool. I didn't get my headlamp out. I just used the light on my phone, which is what I usually do if I'm just going to be in the dark for like an hour or so, because I'm lazy. And I had this thing completely to myself. Sadly, no tourists, so no water begging. Sadly, I think that's the last big landmark of the CNO for me. If I go into Towpath tonight, I don't know that that grocery store will be open to get me more water versus if I go in the morning. There's a paid campsite up ahead. I would hope maybe the paid campsites had potable water, aka I'm not having to use one of those hand pumps, which would solve several problems and avoid me having to go into Towpath. Or I just get a little thirsty and try and push on to Old Town in the morning. Might have to hold myself to 1 cup of coffee. So it's about 6:50. I've done about 19 miles, so 20 is what I'm generally aiming for these days. At the moment, all I want is a couple of liters of nice, safe drinking water, and I will be a happy camper. Came up here with the vague idea of flagging somebody down for water, but traffic's a little too high speed. Slash, I'm too tired looking. Part of me wants to make a sign that just lets people know I could really use any drinking water, but I don't know. I always hate relying on that. Feels like it means I didn't do my planning. I mean, I got water options. They may make me sick again. Well, I guess I should go at least take a look, considering this is the last time I'll probably be in a CNO campsite. Okay, my knees are tired. 21 miles, not bad for a day back, but my knees are hurting, my feet are hurting. It is time to stop. I got enough water, I can make it through the night. Looks like I'm only like 7 or 8 miles from Old Town, I think. And there's a restaurant there, so if I plan to just make for an early lunch there, fill up my water, and then see what this next section's going to be like. This CNO trail has felt like a very, very long stretch, 160 some miles. Never mind me taking all those days off, losing a week in the middle. So it'll be interesting getting back to more rough and tumble. And then, of course, Dolly Sods is looming a few days after that, which should be interesting. I've heard so much about it. Can't wait to see it. But that should be tougher. I think that was actually the blip I saw on the elevation profile when looking at the ADT overall. So it's basically very, very slight uphill with one little blip that I took to be the Appalachians. And then it goes haywire once you get to Colorado. Last night, set up legal in a CNO camp. Hopefully no less than great people show up. Home sweet home for the night. And once again, thanks to Brian's generosity, I have a treat. I don't normally buy these anymore because they've gotten kind of expensive. They run like 16 bucks now, I think, for some of these. But every now and then somebody gives me one, and then, yeah, I'll do it as something different. I should be getting beans from some folks ahead, but for now I'm scrimping.
Tonight I'm staying at Crystal Cove, which is one of the very few places in Orange County where you can officially hike in and set up camp. And if I happen to be in town for the weekend, it's pretty much the nicest place for me to stay. It's just about a 3-mile hike in, and once you get up on top of the ridge where the camping it is super peaceful and quiet. Plus in springtime it's rather pretty and there's little baby bunnies running around everywhere. Home sweet home for the night.